Here's integrated 3. It's 12-66. It says solve 2 sine x cosine x minus sine x equals 0 in the domain x is in between 0 and 2 pi. So that domain part, all it means is that you don't have to write the 2 pi n on the end of it. You just solve it within the unit circle. So this is just an algebra problem. You're going to look at these. There's 2 terms, and they're already set equal to 0. So you're just going to factor that. We need to factor so we can use the zero product property. The zero product property says if you have one thing times another thing and the answer is 0, that means either the first thing, the first factor, or the second factor have to be 0. So that's why we make such a big deal about factoring, is because that's how you're going to solve quadratics. That's how you solve this kind of a problem. So I see that both terms have a sine x, so I'm factoring it out. If I wanted to check and see if I did it correctly, I could multiply sine x times 2 cosine x, and I'd get this. Sine x times -1. So I just factored out the greatest common factor. And then I'm going to set each factor, this is a factor, equal to 0. So either this thing equals 0 or this part equals 0. So this one's already kind of factored out, or this one's already, set equal to 0. So I'm going to get out my unit circle and find out where sine equals 0. I think I know. It's when the y value equals 0. So it's going to be here and here. That's where y values equal 0. But then I want to pay attention to the domain. It said x has to be in between 0 and 2 pi, but it's not including 2 pi. So we're just going to use zero and pi. So we are going to include 0 and pi. So I'm going to say, I'll just write an answer box. These answers came from the sign. Okay. Now I also had this other factor. I set it equal to 0. And then I solved it to get cosine x by itself. So I added 1 on both sides divided by 2. Now I've got cosine x equals 1/2. So then I look on my unit circle and find out where does cosine equal 1/2. What angle measures? Now remember, cosine is x, the x values. So these are the x coordinates. So where is cosine 1/2? Well, I see right here I got pi over 3. Let me jot that down. Okay, so there's probably somewhere else where cosine would be 1/2. Not over here because it's going to be, x values are negative over here and here. But down here, cosine's 1/2 right here. So that's 5 pi over 3. I don't know. I think I just got these 4 answers. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. So that's all. Because they were saying that your domain is in between 0 and 2 pi. So you don't have to go plus 2 pi n on all of those. You're just done.